What's up, everybody? It's Chase with Energy to Conquer, and today is day 39 on my experimental journey to increasing my energy, improving my mental clarity, and my overall focus. And today I am hiking up this mountain. Today is just one of those days. It's going to be a quick video. Got a ton of stuff going on, and just all hell breaks loose some days, and you get pissed off, and you get stressed, and you get out to the max. And so today's all about how do you deal with that and not let it drain your energy like before, and still sometimes, but I've got pretty good. You know, I've learned that one of the biggest things is if you don't get this stuff off your mind, it'll sit and you just fester, and it becomes toxic in your head for days. You know, sometimes a day, sometimes a half a day, sometimes a whole day, sometimes a week, sometimes a month, right? So sometimes it's just better to get out and go do something hard and strenuous, like hike up a mountain for an hour or so in 90-degree heat, kind of sweat it out, work out the problems in your mind. And yes, it sounds counterproductive to spend that time, an hour or two, going to do that, but in the long run, if I don't deal with this shit today, guess what? I'm still going to be swirling in my head, distracting me tomorrow, taking me away from work or whatever I have going on. Even with my family, I'm not going to be giving it 100%, right? I'm not going to be 100% there. I'm going to be kind of, this stuff still stewing in my mind. And don't get me wrong, this isn't an escape or a sedation for not dealing with things. It's just to get clarity, right? To be able to get clarity in the middle of the storm, so you can clearly think and then take actions to resolve the problem. To logically think about it without the emotions, kind of to step to the side and take the emotions out of the equation. Right? Because sometimes it's the best thing to do. And sometimes if you can sacrifice an hour or maybe 2 hours, maybe more, if you can sacrifice that time, how much time is it going to save you in productivity the next day? You know, maybe the end of that day, the next day, maybe the next week, the next month. I know before, especially when things really hit me hard, you know, I couldn't. Sometimes I would deal with stuff for a week, sometimes 2 weeks, right? Just completely throw me off my game. It comes to emotional intelligence, right? And sometimes you realize something's not going away, and you have to have the emotional intelligence to know that you need to do something to get that out of your head, right? You need to work through that. And that's what this does. Because reality is, if we don't do this stuff and be proactive, right, we're going to sedate in other ways. You know, whatever that may be, whatever your vices are, whether it's just procrastination, whether it's you just check out mentally, maybe it's alcohol, maybe it's porn, all right, whatever it is you do, right, that sedation, all right, you're not being productive because you're still not dealing with the issue, you're still not getting resolved, you're still not getting clarity, right, you're just wasting time trying to sedate and distract yourself instead of getting to a better place mentally where you can actually deal with it. Because reality is, when you sedate, you are just saving. I guess you're just not really saving, but it's still going to be there, right? When you get done sedating, and you're going to have to deal with it, address it, or you can ignore it and try to sidestep it. But guess what? The problem's just going to be that much worse the next time it rears its head, which it will be because it's never dealt with. Sidestepping stuff is not a solution. It's a temporary fix to a permanent problem that's only going to make the problem worse. So guys, this phone's probably clicking like crazy climbing up these hills. The camera in it just tick, 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 whenever it bounces. Trying to keep it smooth, but I know it's super annoying. Anyways, guys, that's all I got today. You listen to me huff and puff up this hill, but just want to be real with you. We've all got days, especially if you're married, especially if you got a business, or maybe you're just working in a business, you have kids, Like all these things, the more of that, more pieces of that puzzle you have going on, the more days like this you're probably going to have. So you've got to, number one, understand the emotional intelligence game, how to effectively manage your emotions. And sometimes you got to know when to just step away and be able to get your head in a better situation. All right, just go ahead and clear your mind. Give yourself that time, almost self-care, but almost time with yourself, right? To get out of your own situation, remove yourself from the emotion, so then you can logically address the situation. Anyways, guys, that's enough of me huffing and puffing up this hill. I just hit 2 miles going up the hill here. Been uphill pretty much the whole way. Probably maybe 1,000 feet, not too much, but still a little rough terrain. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you today. Look, you got to have a way to get clarity. Maybe you don't have no hills where you live. Maybe, you know, hiking or whatever's not your thing. Like this is 15 minutes from my house, so it's quick, easy, and convenient for me. But you just got to figure out what that is. Maybe it's going playing soccer, you know, by yourself. Maybe it's going shooting basketball. Maybe it's riding an exercise bike. Maybe it's riding a real bike, right? Maybe it's going to the gym. You just got to figure whatever it is, it's going to give you that time to detach emotionally. But the best way to do that is physical activity. Like, the physical activity is probably the single most effective thing you can do to, I guess, clear your head emotionally and stop thinking about things emotionally and kind of look at them logically. Scott Jurek, ultra runner, once said, if you had a problem, well, there's not, no, he said, there's not a problem. There is, sorry, let me rephrase that. There isn't a problem that you can't solve. That's a double negative. I'm not sure that's how he said it. But basically, there's not a problem you can't solve on a 4-hour run, right? And that's the quote. If not, I probably butchered it, but you get the point. There's not a problem you can't solve on a 4-hour run. So whether that's a 4-hour hike, whatever that is for you, like if you got that much stuff going on, just get out, move, change your physiology, change your mental state, change your breathing patterns. I've talked about all this in all the previous videos. Just showing you today, practicing what I preach, get my mental clarity, get my mental health right. And then that allows me to strategically look at the problem, to confidently look at the problem, to address the issues, and to move forward and take action instead of just sedating, pretending they didn't happen, and then just sidestepping, right? Because that's what most people do. That's what most men do. It's what society's conditioned us to do. Because society has conditioned us to think that when we do have problems, we're weak. But the truth is, we've all got problems. And our problems is how we grow. It's how we become stronger. It's how we become better, more effective human beings. It's by having problems. So if you don't have problems, you're not growing. And this is a big problem. Right? So, look guys, this is a pretty cool rock. I'm at the top of the hill, getting ready to turn down and go back. Poo, poo, poo. Look at that. Oh. So, there's actually some more back here. Don't know if you can see them. But look guys, figure this stuff out for yourself. Nobody's coming to the rescue. And if you don't deal with this stuff, figure out a way to manage it, manage your emotions, to regain logic, perspective. I heard a definition yesterday that the purpose of psychology is to help people, what was it? To help people, I'm winded, I can't even think, right? These rocks. That's cool. Just these big rocks up here in the middle of nowhere. Anyways, the purpose of psychology is to help people increase their level of awareness, right? Sometimes we have to remove ourselves from the emotion of the situation to be able to increase our awareness, right? So I'm not climbing over there. Look at that, guys. Anyways, so I got for you guys today a little sightseeing tour here in North Carolina. I'm getting ready to head back down the mountain. Looks like I might get caught in a storm. Even better, right? or something about the rain makes you feel alive. But look, guys, you got to have a plan. You got to be able to manage your emotions so you can think logically, think clear. You can't let this stuff fester, because as it festers, it just creates more problems. Resentment, you get rage, right? All these things built in. And then it just becomes toxic. It becomes toxic. It's toxic in your work, it becomes toxic in all your relationships, but more importantly, it's negative energy. It's just swirling in your head, right? If you sit and stew on this stuff emotionally for a day or two, it's just going to suck the energy and the life out of you, and you just can't deal with it, right? You can deal with it, but it's going to make you ineffective at whatever it is you're doing, right? So I'm kind of all over the place today, guys, but I'm out here hiking. I hope this phone isn't cracking and popping too bad as it jiggles. But anyways, guys, you got to have a way to deal with those emotions. You just got to get out and figure out what you got to do, because they're going to drag you down. Like a lot of people are going to sit and just stew on this stuff for a day. Sometimes they go to bed at night, so they don't sleep good because they're stewing on it. Wake up in the morning, in the middle of the night, stewing on it. We've all done it. Anyone that hasn't done it's lying, or either they're on drugs, taking medication so they can sedate, right? And so you don't sleep good. It affects your sleep patterns, affects your rest. Wake up in the morning, you're stewing. Whenever you wake up stewing, angry, mad, right, what happens? Your heart's racing, your mind's going 100 miles an hour. Whenever your mind starts going 100 miles an hour like that, it's draining your energy, right? It's like the fan's on high in your brain, right? You're like using maximum electricity, or a maximum energy, I guess is the word, in your brain whenever you wake up and your mind's running 100 miles an hour. So anyways, guys, I'm kind of just ranting now, or rambling, but you know, we got to figure out a way. You got to have a way to deal with this, and sometimes you got to think. Sometimes it's okay to lose the battle in order to win the war, and that's what you have to do, is purposely lose the battle. Maybe you lose a few hours in the day, but if that's going to help you be more effective the rest of the day or the next day, and help you resolve the issues so you can move forward, right, and advance the mission, advance the cause, then that's just what you got to do, guys. And I'm telling you right now, the best way to deal with this emotional stuff, or to not deal with it, but to manage it, and to get clarity in the middle of this emotional storm, right? Because most of the storms are emotional, and we lose clarity because our emotions get in the way, our feelings, right? We get all up in our feels, and so you got to do something physical, do something physically hard. And actually, people use physical training. It's proven that physical training increases your emotional, or your ability to deal with things emotionally, like your emotional resilience. There's a big part of that that's tied to physical training, especially strength training, and your ability to recover emotionally when things go wrong is strength training. That's the reason strength training is so important. Even solid state cardio, which is like distance running and not interval running, and it's solid, keeping your heart rate at a steady state, that's not as effective as more interval work and really just overall strength training, because the strength training is actually proven to stimulate your whole nervous system when you're doing really heavy stuff. And so that's one of the reasons it's so good for you, because it stimulates your whole nervous system. But it does increase your ability to recover emotionally and to be more emotionally resilient. And guys, we're all going to have things that going to come up, and it's going to sometimes worse than others. But you know, when that happens, you've just got to do what you got to do, right? And sometimes you just need to do some strenuous stuff, whether that's a hard workout, or maybe just go do something completely detach yourself from the situation, as I am today, hiking uphill this afternoon. Just kind of last minute, boom, take about 2 hours, hike up the hill, come back. Probably take me about, I don't know, maybe close to an hour to get up, but it probably won't take me about 25-30 minutes to get back, as long as I'm not recording this video, right? So anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. You got to have a plan, and you got to deal with the stuff. Like, this isn't dealing with it, but this is putting me in a mental state where I'm not wasting energy, stewing and building resentment and making the problem worse, right? It's giving me a way to emotionally deal with it right now so I can logically deal with the problem, solve the problem, and make rational decisions to solving the problems moving forward. So that's all I got for you today, guys. Hope you have a blessed day.